Hey, how we doing? Mike Trammell here, Abalt Custom Lures. I'm just gonna hit you with both barrels. Man, that's what life is. There's no interviews, there's no intros. It's just what it is. So that's what we're gonna do. It's not gonna take too much knowledge and too much of me presenting to you my spill that you won't figure out what I do. Okay, so it's pretty obvious, painfully obvious. All right, so if this is you, this is your spinnerbait. This is basically, I guess 99.99999. See that? See that open eye R bend? There's one with a skirt. Not pointing any fingers here. These are just my personal spinnerbaits that I've accumulated over the decades. Here's one with a single spin without the skirt. Right? We've all got them. I mean, it's a spinnerbait, right? We don't know anything better. There's another one, single spin. Look at the orientation of the blade over the hook back there. Imagine these being the feathers, this the shaft, and this the broadhead. That's kind of weight forward, right? With an arrow, when you launch it, when you cast it from your bow, that weight's, right? Weight forward of anything giving it buoyancy or lift. That's the blade. Okay. Let's fast forward to today. I know this probably looks like it won't even work. But boy, does this work. All right, so first of all, no paint job to get screwed up. Okay? Weedless all the time, because I've made that hook, selected that hook where you can make this Texas rig. That's how we refer to it, as hooking it through the body. That's Texas rig, weedless. And I've clipped off one of the trailers, or the curly tail of that worm, and put it on another swivel. This thing has 2 ball bearing swivels, one for the blade and one for the trailer. Now, if you, we'll get into this. If y'all like this, this is the whole deal. This is why I'm here right here today. Is if I want you to like this, I want you to buy this. When you buy this, I'll make more. I mean, that sounds very primitive, but there's some non-primitive things going on here. Check out this keeper. Y'all have done the duo fast clips and all that. I mean, I've seen, YouTube is full of them. Watch this right here. I've just taken that off, and then I'll just clip it back on. Okay. Push that pin over, secure it. Bring that 6 cents. Yeah, I just plugged somebody. Because they make some cool stuff. You know, I use cool stuff. I want my cool stuff to be even cooler. So I'm going to get the very best stuff that I think I can. Check that out. The eyes move. I don't know if you can see an eye moving. Okay. It's not a lead head. It's tungsten counterweighted. Okay. So, and its official name is a linked fishing lure system and methods. So I don't make spinnerbaits. I don't make swim baits. I make this head that will make them all. If you want to see a cool swim bait, take this off, put it on this clip. Now you have a cool swim bait. I should have my glasses. I wear glasses. I'll just give you a look at it since it's been a pain in the ass. That's the connecting link. Linked fishing lure. Whoops. I guarantee the paint didn't come off of that. That's about a 4-foot drop to the concrete. Okay. So there's the connecting link. Put your head back on. Make sure I got it right. And then use my clip. And you've gone from a spinnerbait to a very, very cool swim bait. I just do that with that because it's, look at this, nothing to hang up. Nothing to hang up. With these other style clips, man, look at that. That dual clip. Dude. And this stuff, then a smaller version of that, all that hangs up in the moss. This just helps it, look at that. No weed guard, but yet it's weedless. That is one bad to the bone. And imagine a fish body on there. Really imagine anything on there. Here's one with a fish body. Check out that head. There's a paddle tail. Got a little red on there, like he's gushing out blood. Look at that head. Those eyes don't move. I can put any eyes that I want on there. We can just, in the blink of an eye, we just change the blade and the color and the configuration of that lure. Just that quick. You want to take the blade off and add another blade? Do it. Do it. Make a change when you want to. Not when you have to, but when you want to. So anyway, I've gone from a spinnerbait to a swim bait. Without tying, without retying, without tying a knot. I've done it. Not only is that lure a killer, but so is this. Man, just think, if you wanted to change from a spinnerbait to a swim bait, or a swim jig, you know, stuff that has a skirt on it, I'm sure the guys will correct me and say, well, no, that's a swim jig, whatever. That's not really my point. Let's put a chrome blade on there. Started with blue, color matched the head with the blue blade. Now it's chrome. And willow leaf instead of Colorado. Man, the combinations are endless. You just get one of these heads in black or white. How many combinations can you make with neutral colors? Black and chartreuse, white and blue and chartreuse, blue, chartreuse and white. The color combinations are just crazy. There's another thing that I do to close. I close that off with this so it doesn't bend. Oh, by the way, there's no tuning to this. Whenever the geometry through the water is similar to this right here. Horizontal, right? Like this, similar to this. Only this one here, well, we'll get into that later. There's so much to get into. Okay, so anyway, when this thing's coming through water like this, parallel, and it will be because this tail lifts it up, right? And this is weedless, so you want your lure going through the water like a real fish, like parallel to the surface and the bottom. Okay, well, that's what it's going to do. All the time doing this right here, and this is spinning and waving. And that skirt, these, by the way, that's a soft silicone skirt, not hard silicone like this. So it's going to lay down. Look how it lays down right now. So imagine the water. There's his head. We completed the body, and there's his tail. Yeah. Okay, so when you do get a bite and you put it under tension, it's a tension load. Look what happens. Straight line pull, just like your line. The only thing that's going to bend here is the hook. what always bends. With this lure, it always bends here where mine pivots. And it always bends here in that open eye R bend. Straightens out. See the guys on TV back there, you know, when they take the fish off, put it in there, closing that lure. It's because it got straightened out. That's one cycle. 20 cycles is what you get. Somewhere around 15 or 20 cycles. You ever break that paper clip in science class? Same thing. That's the cycle rate of the spring. Every time you straighten it, one cycle. So that's one cycle here, and a cycle here, getting it back to its correct geometry here, set forth by the manufacturer when they designed this and made a mold for it. And that's not changing. I mean, you can't change that. You need to return it back to that in order for it to work right. It's called tuning it. So it has to be in line this way, and the geometry has to be somewhere similar to when you first started before you caught the fish. So you're all the time cycling it. That's why the wire breaks. If mine breaks, put another one on. If the hook gets straightened out and you think that it's going to fail, take it apart. Take this connecting link off of here, put another hook on it. Put it back together. I mean, this is real time. You're watching this in real time, right? So put it back together. There's the skirts back on it. I'm going to reassemble the head. If you want to swim bait, go fish at swim bait right now. Just hook it up to the line. My line connector. Line to lure connector. Or put the spinnerbait arm back on it. You're back in business. We replaced this and put on a fresh trailer. It's almost like having a new lure. Have you seen me tie any Palomar knots? The only Palomar knot that I've tied was right here on this. And I need to go get my glasses. Some of this stuff's pretty small. And that's the point, you know, you're working with miniatures. I mean, it was hard to develop this head so small, but yet still have tungsten weight in it where you can cast it and look like a fish. I don't know if you're picking up on that blade right there. We'll get into that too. If y'all like what you see, obviously, you know what you got to do, man. If we want this thing to blow up and make me famous and make me money so I can continue to make more of these, I don't want y'all to send me on a fishing trip. For 5 decades, I've been going on my own fishing trips. I don't need that. I need you guys, you bank fishermen specifically, to buy this lure and go down the bank and you'll have 6 options in one lure. Is that a value? Yeah, that's a value, considering what some of these spinnerbaits cost that will not do anything but be a spinnerbait and break. I just showed you you've got a spinnerbait, a swim bait, a swim jig, add a longer tail and remove the skirt, and you've got a weighted worm. That's a weighted, and the head looks like a head. It looks more like a head than a lead head does. And complete your worm with that weedless hook, clip it onto that, and you've got a worm. So that's a worm, spinnerbait, swim bait, swim jig. Oh yeah, put a creature bait on it. Now you've got a jigging pig. And they're all weedless. Every one of these are weedless because you hook it weedless. When you buy this spinnerbait, is that weedless? There's no way to make that weedless. And oh yeah, when it crawls over the log, it don't do this. It does this. We can go back here in the pool and I can put a line across a rope across my pool. We'll cast over it and we'll see if it comes over like this. If this leaves the water like that, like a dorsal fin, and does this right here, we can see that, we can test that, and I can disprove that theory. This right here, I don't give a fuck if it goes over the log like this or like this. It's weedless. Why? Because I designed it that way. So you got that one shot of getting it back, and it gives you the confidence to fish everything and everywhere. Those places where you wouldn't normally cast it, you'll be doing it with this because you got that one shot to get it back. Anyway, there's so much more to come. If you like what you see and you do want to make a change to this, I'm not saying to change your fishing. I'm just saying this allows you to make a change like I just showed you with this sample lure here, an example of how easy it is to make a change on the fly without tying knots with this system. Okay, so if you're not intrigued, I don't know what else I can do for an opener. This is the beginnings, okay? So you know what to do, man. If this thing blows up, and I hope it does. I hope I've selected the right format for, and I think I have through YouTube and Facebook, to get it to the right people that watch these fishing shows. And now you're probably saying, well, here we go, another fishing show. Man, I'm going to do what you tell me to do. If you want to see these lures being made, I'll make them. If you want to add and interject into the making of this business and this lure, now's the time to do it. Like, comment. You got comments. I want to hear them. And share, man. And most importantly, you got to subscribe. We got to show them the numbers. We want this thing to do what it hasn't done before. Let's use it for what it really is. I'm selling this lure to people that need it. You bank fishermen. I think it would be a heck of an arsenal, or a tool to add to your arsenal. Yeah, and you saw a sample of it, and there's so much more to come. I can't show it to you all. So it's not just a tease, like, well, if you want to see more, come back next week. We're going to be, posting every week, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. Somebody's got to make these lures. So if y'all want to see me busy and pulling what's left of my hair out, then make that call. Place that order. Right there's the number. Abalt Custom Lures. 682-395-4791. That's the best way, man. I'm not going to get fancy. I'm not going to get complicated. I'm going to try to keep it as easy as possible and let the tech evolve right here. Let this stuff grow. We need to sell them to do that. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next cast.